Welcome to the Find Your Exit podcast, where the leading authority on buying, selling, fixing, and growing companies, Seiler Tucker, is dedicated to helping you find the path to retire rich and move on to your next adventure by exiting your business for the desired dream price you deserve. Get ready to find your exit with your host, Seiler Tucker.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Find Your Exit. Today, we're going to talk about the seller sanity check, when and why you should sell your business. I always tell my clients that the biggest mistake that business owners make is they don't plan their exit. They don't think about selling until an external or internal catastrophic event has occurred, until something like COVID has occurred, or a major hurricane, a recession, or internal health issues, divorce, partner disputes. There's all different kinds of reasons for selling. But most business owners are so busy working in their business that they don't really think about selling their business until a catastrophic event has occurred, external or internal. The problem is when you think about selling then, when a catastrophic event has occurred, your business is typically going downward, not upward. The buyers want to buy businesses that are trending upward. They want to buy good, solid businesses. They don't want to buy something that's going down. So you really must plan your exit. Now, we talked about this in one of the first episodes called the STGPS exit model. So if you didn't listen to that one, please go back and listen. But what we're going to talk about today is the seller sanity check and how you come to terms with, is this the right time to sell your business? The when, the how, the why. So I really want you to think about your business, how long you've been in business, and start to make a plan when you want to sell that business, what you want to sell that business for, who you want to sell the business to. And don't hang on to the business so long. And that's the problem. I mean, right now, it used to be that 95% of businesses would go out of business after being in business for the first 5 years. Startups were at great risk. Now, startups are not at great risk. Guess who's at great risk? Those business owners that have been in business 10 years or longer. Those businesses, unfortunately, are dropping like flies. 70% of those business owners are going out of business, and are going out in business after being in business for 10 years, and that's out of 27 million businesses. So do the math. So if you're listening to this right now, you've been in business for 10 years or longer, you're at risk for going out of business. So plan your exit. Think about what you want from an exit. If you sell your business, what would you do on the other side? I always tell my clients, you can't really plan your exit until you plan your beginning. You can't exit your business without knowing what you're going to do afterwards. Do you want to retire? Do you want to travel the world? Do you want to buy another business, acquire another business, create another masterpiece? It really depends upon the age group too. I have a lot of clients that come to me and say, Michelle, I'm 60 years old. I don't want another business. I want to finally retire and enjoy the fruits of my labor. So you really need to figure out what you want to do next, because if you don't figure out your beginning strategy, you'll never go through with your exit strategy. And most of my clients, I've worked with my clients to try to help them come to terms with what they really want to do next. Because let's face it, what you were once passionate about, what got your juices flowing, what you were excited about, is probably not what you're excited about anymore. Because many of us bury our passion and the things that excite us, we bury that underneath our commitments, what we have to do for our family, what we have to do for our children, what we have to do for our spouse, what we have to do for our friends, and what we have to do for our business. These passions, these things that we were once passionate about that we really love to do, has now become buried under our obligations of what we have to do. So I always tell my clients, you really need to do some soul searching and figure out, what is it that you loved to do when you were a kid? What is it that you would do for free because you love it so much? Find out what that is. I worked with a couple that was selling a business, and they were back and forth. And most of my clients are back and forth. Most of my clients are not like, oh, I want to sell. I absolutely want to sell. Most of them are on the fence. And the problem with being on the fence is if you haven't really figured out what you're going to do next, you'll never sell the business. You'll never pull the trigger. You'll walk away from deals. You'll walk away from buyers, and the business won't close. So I always tell my clients, stop and think about what it was that you once loved, what you would do, even if you weren't getting paid. Think about your core competencies, your strengths, what excites you, what motivates you. I always tell my clients, sit down and put together a list. There's this company I was working with that was selling a business, and they were on the fence. One minute they wanted to sell, the next minute they didn't. And this went on for about 6 months. And finally they called me, gosh, it was pretty late, probably around 12 o'clock at night. And they said, Michelle, I had an epiphany. I now know exactly what it is I want to do. And I go, what? I'm so excited. Couldn't they wait for the morning? But what is it that you want to do? And they said, well, we've always dreamed, it was husband and wife, we've always dreamed of owning a bed and breakfast. That was our dream. That was our high school dream. And we never had the time to do it. We never had the resources. We never had the money to do so. So from the proceeds of the business, we decided that we're going to buy or start a B&B in Vermont. Perfect. Once they figured that out, guess what? They took the next offer I bought them. It was a good offer. They accepted the next offer. I bought them. And they went ahead and closed on their business. And now they're living happily ever after in their bed and breakfast. So I sit down with my clients, and I also have them put together a list. It's called What I Want, What I Don't Want. And I'll have them start with the I don't want section. So some have told me, well, Michelle, I don't want to be in my business 24/7. I don't want to have to deal with employees anymore. I don't want to have to deal with all the headaches. I don't want to be the one trying to find the money, when a catastrophic event has occurred and there is no business. And then I tell them, well, what do you want? And they'll say, well, if I don't want employees anymore, I want to be employee free. Or, I've had them say, I don't want to work 24/7. I want to take vacations. I want to take more than a weekend vacation. I want to take 2 or 3 weeks at a time. I want a stress-free life. I want financial stability. I don't want to manage anybody anymore. So it's very important to get crystal clear on what you want and what you don't want. And then when you become crystal clear, get rid of the don't want section. I always tell my clients, have a little ceremony, throw it in the fireplace, set it on fire, do something fun, and get rid of what you don't want and only focus on what you do want. Once you do that and get crystal clear on what's important to you and your family, then you'll be able to make the decision, do you want to sell, do you not want to sell? Plus, it will help you to remember what it was that you once loved. A lot of business owners are stuck in their business and they don't like it anymore. Some of them hate it. And the problem is when you don't like what you do anymore, when you can't stand to go to work and you can't stand running your company anymore, you're going to do a terrible job and the company's going to continue to go downward. So before that happens, let's work on transitioning your company, your legacy to someone else. So get crystal clear on what you want and what you don't want. Then I always tell my clients, it's important to come up with what I call the seller's sanity check. We have a buyer's sanity check. We also have a seller's sanity check. And on the sell side, it's very important to know, how much money do you need? How much money does it take for you to live on month to month? How much money do you need from the sale of your business? You would be shocked if I tell you how many business owners are completely oblivious to this. They have no idea. They have a wish list. They say, I want to sell my business for $50 million. Their business is worth $1 million and they can't afford to sell their business for $1 million because it won't support their lifestyle and what they want to retire on. So it's very important to get crystal clear on what you want, what you need, what you want to do, what you don't want to do, but more importantly, how much money you have to retire on. If you want to retire, how many years do you have left? What does that monthly look like? That monthly income that you need, that monthly cash flow. If you want to buy another business, how much money do you need to afford another business? If you want to create another masterpiece, how much money do you need for that masterpiece? So most business owners have no clue of what they need. I have my clients sit down and go through it so they are crystal clear. Because it's not the price I get you for your business, it's what you walk away with and what can sustain your lifestyle. That's the most important thing. And that's different for everybody. So get crystal clear on how much money you need. Because here's the bottom line. Clients will say, Michelle, I need $50 million. The business is worth $1 million. A buyer's not going to pay you what you need to retire on. A buyer's not going to pay you what you need to start another company on. A buyer's not going to pay you what you need to send your kids to college. Buyers will pay for worth. They'll buy synergies. They'll buy a business based upon the value that it brings to them. They're not going to overpay unless they see some great synergies that they can ROI and monetize. So the business has to be worth what you're asking for from a value standpoint. It's not based upon what you need to retire on. It's based upon what it's worth. However, for me to work with my clients, I got to make sure we're realistic and the value of the business is going to align with what they need to exit their company. So then the next part of the seller sanity check, after you become crystal clear on how much money you need monthly, how much money you need annually, also, look at it and say, gosh, if I sell my business, am I going to have to go out and get another job? If so, then you might not want to sell your business, or this is not the right timing to exit your company. There's other alternatives that we can look at. So that's number one, the money piece. Number two, it's really important to most sellers is, will the new owner take care of my employees? Some sellers have a hate relationship with their employees, and many sellers love and cherish their employees, and that's what got them to where they are today. And many sellers will not exit their business unless they know their employees are going to be taken care of. I have a plastics manufacturing business, and the owner, they're from China, and she said, Michelle, our employees have been with us for decades. And she says, we will not sell unless we are guaranteed that our employees can stay. That's wonderful. However, the issue with this particular business is that they kept raising their employees, raising, but they're in a very competitive industry that doesn't allow any room for error, and it doesn't allow any room for excessive overhead, and they have excessive overhead. So a new owner is going to come in there and have to replace some of the employees and add new machinery in order to reduce cost so they can make a profit. Otherwise, they won't buy the business. And the owner hasn't sold because of that. And that's okay. That's her choice. So, but that's very important to a lot of business owners is, are my employees going to be taken care of? Who is the buyer? And then the other thing is, are my clients going to be taken care of? There are many owners that love their clients. Like me, I love my clients. Are my owners going to be taken care of? My clients going to be taken care of? And then one of the most important things, will the new owner grow my legacy? Will the new owner grow my legacy? Will they continue to grow my business? Because many of you have built your business for years, for decades. You've poured your heart, your soul, your energy, your efforts, everything you've poured into your business. Many of you have made huge sacrifices along the way. You've missed your kids' baseball games and soccer games and Christmas plays. So your business is your baby. So many business owners want to make sure that their legacy will continue to grow. So these are some exercises and some questions you can ask yourself and take yourself through. what I want, what I don't want anymore, and what do I need from the sale of my business? There are many times we've been able to structure sales where the owner gets so much upfront, but they get so much per month with interest. And that monthly payment allows that owner to be able to sustain and even have some money left over for luxury items, for vacation, for travel, for things of that nature. They have that money left over to do that. So it's very important to figure that out and work with your advisor so they can help you figure that out. Because only then will you know if the timing is right for you to exit your business now. So just to recap, get clear on your business, get clear on what your hobbies are, what your passions are, what you once loved to do, what you would love to do, regardless of money, what your core competencies, what your skill sets. Because, a lot of business owners are like, Michelle, this is my core competency. I'm so good at this, but I'm doing that. I would love to do this, but I have to do that. So get clear on what you really, really, really want and get clear on what you really don't want. Tear that piece of paper up, celebrate what you want, focus on that, and then take yourself through that seller sanity check to figure out what it is that you really need to get from the exit of your business. Thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time on Find Your Exit.
Thanks for listening to the Find Your Exit podcast. Don't forget to check out Michelle Seiler Tucker's Build to Sell Blueprint books and Exit Rich, along with more blogs, videos, and resources at findyourexit.org. Be sure to connect with Michelle on Facebook or LinkedIn and stay tuned for her next episode by subscribing in your favorite podcast player.